I was going to say something. What's that?
I'm getting Jonathan the church.
Yeah.
Yep. Something. We're doing something. It's just state house.
I'll just say briefly, and then we want to talk about where we go from here. So I've been protesting my government my whole life, literally. I'll tell you that story another time. My mother went into labor at the Washington Monument protesting the Vietnam War. It's true. But I'm wondering increasingly why in a democracy, not a dictatorship, a democracy, we're having to protest our own government for basic rights and basic needs. And we're running out of time on a lot of issues. And we're not talking about, all these candidates here are not talking about stuff that people want. They're talking about stuff people need. So everyone needs a roof over their heads and a roof over their children's heads. But we have a government that refuses to do anything about the affordable housing crisis while doling out massive tax breaks to luxury condo developers. Everyone needs enough money in their pocket to buy groceries and to put clothes on themselves and on their children. But we have a government that refuses to pass a basic living wage of $15 an hour, which is just $30,000 a year. Everyone needs a good education, but we have a government that is just about the worst in the country for the equitability of the state funding, so there are a lot of kids in a lot of communities in this state that do not get an equal quality education. And we all need to live on a planet that is not destroyed by the heat and the hurricanes and the rising seas, but we have a government that refuses to enact a Green New Deal and allows the expansion of fossil fuel infrastructure. So when these candidates get elected and win and form a government, a new government, it will be the policy of our government, of your government, that everyone has a roof over their heads and over their children's heads, and no one lives outside anymore. It will be the policy of our government that every child, wherever they live in our state, gets an equal quality education, that every person has a living wage, that no one dies because they're sick and they can't afford health insurance. And it will be the policy of our government to enact a Green New Deal, to end the fossil fuel infrastructure, and get 100% clean energy by 2030. That will be the policy of your government. And listen, and when these candidates form this new government in Rhode Island and cities and towns across the state, it will be a government driven not by ignorance and arrogance and corruption, but driven by community and justice and love of neighbor. I think you've heard that tonight. And when they form this new government, I say at that point, let the executives and the financiers of the fossil fuel industry and the drug companies and the health insurance companies and the NRA that have been running the state for a long time, let them protest for a while. Let them march in the streets from Kennedy Plaza. Let them stand outside the State House screaming at the top of their lungs. Let them dress up like handmaidens to beg their government to treat them like human beings. Right? So let's let them protest for a while, and let's let these people govern. That's why we're here.